What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we have another market watch for you guys to enjoy. A lot of surprises coming through on the market watch, so without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So guys, if you want to help support the channel with no extra cost, please use the affiliate link down below. It costs you nothing to support the channel, and it's just a great way of doing it while you're checking out cards that you are always ready going to be paying for. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, as you guys know, we are getting more and more support we got information about BT21 and BT22 coming up. We kind of got some useful knowledge that we can probably be like, make sure you watch out for this card, maybe put this on your radar, and it might lead into some great value long term. So first off, let's just hit that, medium icons. So Alphamon Oryukin Mode Ace, Release Special Booster 2.5. We're heading for a $6.20 card. I expect this to keep climbing up for a long-term wise. Deck is extremely solid in the meta right now. With the new restriction list being implemented as of today, you know, it is worth considering that this Alphamon card is going to be in Royal Knights long-term, and we're going to be seeing just in general Chronicles deck do well as in its format as well. I think they have a lot of contenders now with how they opened it up a bit, so it'll be great to see what they do. Now Europe side, looking at the 2 to 3 to 4 euro range, which is not terrible, right? They're kind of in the same ballpark as us. Now Magna X antibody shot up like crazy. When, you know, the king of the format kind of gets toppled down, Blue Armors has just been waiting to get back into the game, right? To be honest with you, when you knock down some of the more prevalent monsters, and Purple Hybrid being one of the best counters to this deck in ages, that's what happens really at the end of the day. Because no matter what happens, this Digimon is unaffected by effects, right? But you would mill your opponent out for it and punish them for playing this deck, because instant 3 colors brings you to 4. Now you're milling 4 cards from the top of their deck, if not 5 to 6, depending on tamer ratios and color changes that you do to their tamers, leading into your opponent losing out by deck out with Triumph the Turtle. Now with the, boogeyman of Purple Hybrid now starting to phase out, you are going to expect Magna X to kind of just fill in the gap again. So long-term wise, I expect Magna X to kind of just be there. And again, a lot of players were probably hoping to hit this deck a little bit harder than they did, because at the end of the day, this is what happens where, old monstrosities that have been countered by a stronger contender in the meta always come back a lot stronger. I think Blinding Ray hit was an okay hit, but it wasn't enough to stop this deck in its tracks. I think the deck has a lot going for it in the future, and this deck's only going to get better. Europe side looking like 24 to 30 euros. Now, pause plug-in P, up to $18 a pop. No surprise there. I expect this just because it's a great counter to Magna X, but also Talmon Loop can actually use it, because even though Talmon Loop got hit, the Sukuya X is a viable top end that players are starting to shift over to. Europe side looking like 13 to 15 euros. Now, Ukamon from Being Observer BT16 is up to $13 to $14. A lot of players were on the fence if picking this card up or not, and they made the right call. Europe side looking like 4 to 5 euros here. Now, Shotos from Digimon Liberty EX07 were up to $5 a pop. Crazy. Europe side 1 to 2 euros for them. Now you have Jesbon Release Special Booster 2.5. This is another deck you kind of just keep on your radar just in case. There are going to be more and more Royal Knight support coming, and that is just because BT21 and BT22 has announced that there is going to be a lot more Royal Knight stuff coming. So I expect more and more as the time goes on. Europe side looking like 3 to 4 euros. Now taking a look at Alpha Release Special Booster 2.5, they're up to almost $12 a pop. This card is going to fluctuate in price. It really depends on how they want to handle Chronicles, really. Europe side looking like 2 to 4 euros. Now, Analog Youth Championship 2024s, these things were at 14s at one point. Looking at now, it's like 50 bucks. This is probably a good time to just flip this to actually make some cash. Europe side looking like 12 to 15 euros. Now, Ryotaro Williams here. Ryotaro Williams alternate art Chain of Liberations are at $6.50. This is a card you kind of watch closely because, again, this can lead to being a very expensive card if the Digimon deck gets more and more support, and which should happen with Williams being a prominent role in the light novel, as I would think it's called, the light novel. You know, the book that they're releasing for this. I think it has a lot of potential to just get better. Rude. We're at 4 to 5 euros as well, so make sure you get your copies just in case. Now, Huckmon from Royal Knight Cards Double Diamond is at $29 to 30s. No surprise there. Now, Europe side looking like 17 to 18 euros. Now, Takuya and Koji release Special Booster 2.5. This is another one that if you guys have this, make sure you kind of either list it or you probably, if you need to pick this up, because again, hybrid will only get better as time goes on, and it shows that every time they get a support, the support kind of brings them over the top. They're at like $3.50 though. Right now on the Europe side though, looking like 5 to 6 euros. Then you have Tai Kamiya alts from Across Time BT12. Something you should probably watch closely just in case War Greymon actually pops off like crazy. Even though we got a rare War Greymon, there is going to be more and more support for Greymon and Agumon probably in the next couple sets that it's going to be ridiculous. Your side looking like 12 to 18 euros. Now we have Marvin Jackson alts from Seed Apocalypse BT15. We're up to $18 a pop, which is not terrible for the card, even though it was $12 not too long ago. But just keeping this in mind that this card has some great synergy, and who knows what's going to happen with Machine Drammon. If Machine Drammon is starting to play this card with jamming and blocker, being able to swing in if they go for a more lethal swing as many security as possible tactics, or they might just go for just not playing this card at all. We won't know until it fully releases what the new Mugen's trying to do. Now, Europe side looking like 7 to 10 euros. Now, we do have Heroes from Resurgent Booster RB01. Already climbed up to $6 to $7, so make sure you get your copies just in case you have plans on playing the Resurgent Booster deck, aka the Ghost Game Seriousmon deck with Gammamon. Just something to keep in your radar just in case, because this can get expensive fast. Europe side looking like 6 to 9 euros for just a Resurgent Booster that needs a reprint. Genkumon X Antibody Release Special Booster 2.5 are at like under $1 Europe side looking like €1 to €2. Now we do have Genkumon alts up to 30 bucks a pop. If you guys are sitting on this, just flip it, make some cash, to be honest with you. There's no bad reason not to make money off of this. Europe side looking like 45 to 50 euros. Now we do have Hina alts up to on the low end right now in the 20s, which again is something that you should probably keep a radar on just in case, because all it takes is more and more support for Hina, and these things explode all the time. And I don't know when Dragon Links might be uberly competitive. We now have 2 Hinas, but it eventually will. Europe side looking like 14 to 15 euros. Now, Arrivals Barrage, the pre-release stamps are at 12s to 13s on the low ends here. Then they climb up right into the 40s. So 10s to 14 euros. Again, this is a card that players will play for certain decks. I think we will see a downtick on this card's price because once Purple Hybrid has fallen out of the meta, the max rarity pieces do kind of just get overloaded on here. Veedramon from Update Pack 2024. Guys, I hope you have these sitting for a long time, because right now you are screwed if you wanted this card. The Veedramon got bought out just because they announced that BT22 will have All Force Veedramon in it. And with that comes, yeah, BT22? No, 23, sorry, BT23 will have the All Force support. That will lead into this card's hype. So hopefully they reprint this promo sooner than later. We got 18s to 23 euros. Hinas from BT11 we're up to 40s to 50s to 60 just for the base rarity, by the way. If you guys have this sitting, load it up on the market just in case, because I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Move them, because if you can move them for $40 a pop, do so. Alts are at 65 and climbing on buyout. God, this is scary. Europe side looking like 43 to 50 to 60 euros. All Force Veedramon X antibodies are at, 9s to 10s. This is another card you probably should be starting to pick up just in case you want to max rarity it. Don't get me wrong, you're going to be spending a fortune to do so, but it is an option nonetheless. 5 to 6 euros. Now, All Force Veedramon Dimensional Phase BT11, this will probably get removed, but keep this on your radar just in case this card is starting to climb. And if you want to be playing, All Force and you have the Hinas and you forgot to pick up the BT11 All Forces, we're going to most likely get an All Force Ace, but that's fine, to be honest with you. This is just something you should be watching out for in general. Europe side 1 to 2 euros. All Force Veedramon X antibodies are at 75 cents and climbing. This is a card that you just wait patiently because this one's definitely going to be played in the deck, just unless we get a new X antibody that's just better. Europe side looking like 10 cents, 20 cents. Now, Yao Quinlan is up to $30 and climbing. The hype for aquatic and sea animals is there. I think that BT22 will have some sort of aqua support, so just something to keep on the radar. Europe side 12 to 15 euros. Nene Amanos are sitting at this lovely $40 a pop. Now we do have Europe side being 13 to 15 euros. Dexterugamon X record pre-release stamps are at $20 a pop. Whew. Europe side 6 to 10 euros. Now we do have Last Guardians up at 18s. This card is just hype for the Royal Knight deck, and especially since it's going to get a lot more and more support in the next couple sets, just be ready for this. Europe side 12 to 13 euros. Bukamon is just for the aquatic decks, just because, again, spitting out things is its commonplace all the time. So almost up to $20 a pop. And this card is just going to be snagged up as long as Veedramon is doing some crazy shenanigans. 12 to 15 euros. Sangomon Alt Art Really Special Boosters, another card that you should probably not just let this thing slide from your grips. If you guys want to be max rating the deck, you should probably make sure you get your copies now before the hype even goes further. Europe side looking like 17 to 20 euros. Even Europe has disappeared. Alphamon Oriyuki mode, Ace textured. Someone came out and cleared out enough of the stock to make these almost $800 cards. Crazy, to be honest with you. Europe side looking like 3 to 400. I don't expect these to kind of sell over there, but maybe eventually they might sell closer to 200 in person. Now, Koromon for Blast Ace pre-release stamp cards are up to $13 to $14. Cards always going to be good. Europe side looking like 7 to 10 euros. Doru Gray is up to 22, holding strong in this 22 department. Wish you would drop down a little bit, but hey, it's not going to happen. Europe side looking like 2 to 3 euros. Now, Veedramon Foil Digimon Liberator EX07 looks like we're at 10s to 11s. Now, Europe side looking like 5 to 20 euros. Raremon promo regional finalists are at 18s to 19s. So, again, players were waiting for this card to come down. And look at this. For basically the mid-tier max rarity piece, this is your shot at it. 11 to 15 euros. Shushumon is another card you should probably make sure you get at least one of this. It might get replaced completely in the coming set, but it's always good just to have a one of. Europe side looking like 7 to 10 euros. I think it's BT22 that you will actually see more Shumon support. BL Star X Antibody. This thing's at 17 and climbing. So BL Star or Bella Star is just sitting at this fine $20 price range. Just be on the lookout for this card's price. Europe side looking like 13 to 14 euros. Shumon, the promos. Look at this thing down to $11. God, remember this thing being ridiculously stupid in price? $20 a pop. Now look how the mighty has fallen. But make sure you get a couple copies just in case of whatever the new support wants to do. So we're looking at €5 to €6. BL Star Ace Digimon Liberators. Make sure that with all the hype with, you know, the Three Musketeers with the Appley version and more support coming, we might see this thing keep climbing. So just keep this on your radar just in case. Europe side looking like €2 to €3. But all in all, guys, that is the market. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.